And Dan asks, and I have to apologize to Dan. I'm pretty sure he asked this last time, and
he asked this in April of 2021. I have the answer with the transcript, and I'm just gonna put that from the transcript up so we can. Dan sent me an email going, "Oh, if it's already been asked, then we can skip it."
Okay, all right. Well, we can skip it, but he does say, well, just to let everybody know, did the continent of Africa always exist within the world of Cerebus, or was it retroactively added in later? Answer to that one is that's an existential question. Does Europe exist for Dave Sim until Dave Sim actually goes there? My guess is that it's the former for a couple of reasons. The first being the judge's mention of not being able to swing a dead cat in Jerusalem, and the second being Pud Wither's attempt to call Oscar a sodomite. If those places, Jerusalem and Sodom, didn't exist beforehand, how else could the characters reference them? Yes, that's a very interesting point, but at the same time, neither Jerusalem or Sodom is in Africa.
He did post a clarification because I forget who it was. Somebody commented of, "Wait a minute, I'm missing the joke. Those aren't in Africa." And he posted a follow-up going, "Well, I should say Africa and the Middle East." And I just didn't get a chance to correct it.
All right. Okay. And again, apologies, Dan. I had no idea that question went back to April, but I pictured you asking it through clenched teeth, like, what does it take to get an answer around here? Randall H. asks, I read last year that your hands were crippled up to the point where you cannot draw. Was that true? How are they now? It's not really the hands plural, and it's not the right hand, it's the right wrist, and it's not really a crippled problem. It's if I overdo drawing, and overdoing it is definitely way below the level I was drawing at when I was doing Cerebus and Glamourpuss and everything else, then I start getting something taking place inside the wrist that distracts me from being able to focus on the drawing. So most of the situation is trying to avoid whatever that syndrome is getting into the joint again. It's, if I can keep it to the outside of the wrist, the outside part of where the wrist connects to the hand, and maintain it there, then I can't draw at the ability that I used to, but giving it a lot of rest in between jobs, I'm still able to draw, which I wasn't able to do back in 2016, 2017, 2015. At that point, when I was starting to do Cerebus in Hell and mocking up the strips, it was all I could do to do a word balloon and have it actually look like a word balloon. So that was a very good test. It took about a year and a half, 2 years, until I could do a word balloon the way that I used to, just freehand an oval with the pen. And then more capabilities started coming back. I could do finer lines, I could do tapered lines, I could do textured lines, brush strokes. At this point, I'm doing more work on Strange Death of Alex Raymond and Cerebus in Hell, which are both paste up, which is actually therapeutic, and doing really as little drawing as possible to see if, okay, I've been resting it. Instead of resting it, why not just not use it whatever for drawing as much as possible for as long as possible because I've got all of this other work to do, and just visited. So, as an example, the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #8 cover, I've had half finished for a while and haven't gone back to it, but I also did a Cerebus #1 cover for the Cerebus #2 Kickstarter, so that people buying for the first time will be able to get the #1 and the #2, and just trying to learn to do dead hand inking. Don't bear down on it and go, the brush line has to go exactly where I want it to go. The pen line has to go exactly where I want it to go. I did a Jack Grimm cover for Gary Boyarsky on that basis where, well, it's a freebie for Gary, so it really doesn't matter what it looks like. Let's go completely dead on it, which I did, dead hand and just doodling. Like, I'm just doodling a cover, I'm not drawing a cover. And it came out really good, so that's when I went, okay, let's do that, but let's do it for a money cover, like Cerebus #1. And that went really good. And that was a couple of weeks ago. So now okay, let's leave it alone again. I've got Strange Death of Alex Raymond work to do. I've got left-handed typing to do. I've got Cerebus in Hell to do. So I appreciate you asking about it. It was, as I say, it was never crippled up to the point where I couldn't draw. It was my hand, wrist, eye coordination. I couldn't get things to go where I wanted them to go, and all I could do was focus on what was going on inside of the wrist. Hopefully that's in the rear view mirror now.